What would make a wildly successful lawyer just walk away from it all? To trade a booming career for a life of silent meditation? Well, today we're diving into the incredible life of a man known as Baapuji, who did exactly that, trading the courtroom for cosmic consciousness. Let's get into his story.
Everything really kicked off with a question. But this wasn't just any question. Can you imagine a 6-year-old boy looking up at the sky and challenging the divine itself? This one powerful question about why there's so much suffering in the world, well, it became the mission statement for his entire life. To really understand the man he became, we have to go all the way back to his childhood in Gujarat. His early life was really defined by two huge opposing forces. On one hand, extreme poverty, and on the other, this incredible spiritual curiosity.
I mean, just picture this contrast. During the day, he's a young boy working for hours in paddy fields, so poor he doesn't even have shoes. But then at night, walking home, he starts having these encounters with what the Source describes as subtle spirits. Now, instead of being afraid, he got curious. He actually developed this deep, fearless desire to understand and even communicate with them.
So this fearlessness, which was really forged by both the hardship and these very unusual encounters, it became his superpower. He was absolutely determined to conquer the material world, and he poured all of that energy into his education and this relentless climb to the top.
And his path just shows you his incredible willpower. He started out tutoring other people just so he could afford his own studies in chartered accountancy. That led him to getting a law degree, and from there, he eventually became one of the most famous and successful lawyers in all of Ahmedabad. I mean, by any worldly measure, he had absolutely made it.
But right there, at the absolute peak of his success, a different calling. That one that had been echoing since he was a little boy just became too loud to ignore. This was it. The decisive turn. The moment that would change literally everything. This timeline of his life tells such a powerful story. He's born in 1956. He asked that profound question around 1962. And then, for decades, nothing until 1997. This year wasn't just some turning point, it was the answer, the culmination of his entire life's search.
So, in 1997, he made his move. He completely left his law career behind and founded the Vishwa Parivartak Ishwariya Vidyalaya. And its mission was, well, it was cosmic. Nothing short of transforming the entire world into what the Source calls a true heaven.
The university was set up right there in Chainpur, Ahmedabad. And in this incredible mission, he wasn't alone. He was joined by Srimati Sushma Tandon, a really key collaborator who everyone lovingly calls Ma.
Okay, so the university is founded. Now his mission for universal transformation could really begin. And the sheer intensity he brought to it, it was just staggering.
To make this mission a reality, Baapuji started teaching, and he did it relentlessly. We're talking more than 18 hours a day. Just let that sink in for a minute. This wasn't a new career change. This was an all-consuming, life-defining purpose.
And the stuff he was teaching was as huge as his mission. He wasn't just talking about spirituality. He taught cosmology. You know, the nature of the Creator and all of creation, the mechanics of our solar system, our galaxy, and yeah, even the multiverse. The goal was to give people a complete picture of existence to fuel this transformation.
And that brings us to today. After all those years of nonstop teaching, his journey has moved into a new and perhaps final phase, one of deep, profound inner contemplation. So let's just remember where he came from, right? A famous lawyer, a man who had achieved incredible worldly success, totally immersed in the hustle of city life and the legal world.
And now, this. The contrast is just absolute. Today, he spends most of his time in a state of deep contemplation in what's known as Yogic Samadhi.
So, what is Yogic Samadhi? It's a state of profound meditative consciousness where the mind becomes completely, totally still. It's really the culmination of his entire life's work and practice. He spends almost all of his time in this state now and only meets with people on very rare occasions. You know, Baapuji's journey from that courtroom to a state of cosmic consciousness, it leaves us with a really powerful question to think about. What does it actually take to trade a life that's successful for one that's truly meaningful?